All right, so in this video, guys, welcome back. For those of you guys that haven't watched our previous videos, today we're going to talk about a topic which I haven't discussed before, and that is the power of now, the power of moving, the power of initiating and taking action regardless of how one feels or overthinks. And I think this can relate to a lot of people simply because this is something that we experience every single day. The, the idea is we most of the time feel like we overthink things. And I'm sure you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Being in a circumstance, a situation in your life where you tend to overthink things, maybe a conversation, a relationship with a person, your work environment, what to wear, you're going to a social event, you tend to overthink things. And from first-hand experience, I can tell you that it is an absolute nightmare to be in that cycle because you feel lost. You lose kind of the grip on your feet and you feel like you're off your feet and it's like you're wearing ice skates and you're like sliding everywhere. And I've learned over time, my personal experience, which I've kind of jumped into a holistic point of view and understood, what works, what doesn't work, and the overall outcome, what comes out of it anyway. So, in times when you feel like you are overthinking, you are doubting yourself, doubt kills, and it puts you in a position where you end up taking no action whatsoever, okay? It disables your ability to move forward. And what happens is time moves on anyway, okay? And what we think about is, oh, if I make a wrong decision and I don't take any decision, I'm better off. That's not necessarily true. Making a decision and failing is a much better situation to be in than not taking any action. Time is unapologetic. It doesn't wait for you, it doesn't care about you, it just moves. Time moves. From the moment we are alive, we come into this physical or quantum field, it just moves. And it doesn't matter what ideas or thoughts you have, it just continues to move. So, if my destination is to go from point A to point B, and it's my first journey, because most of the time we make decisions sometimes based out of fear. You're moving from point A to point B. And during that process, you're overthinking what's happening. Should I make a good decision? What happens if I fail? What happens if thingy thinks about it? Blah, blah, blah. The reality of the situation is whether you walk or you run or you get a bicycle or a helicopter, the point is you need to move. When you are in a position of overthinking and are in doubt, what you are doing is you are standing still. Time is moving. And as a result, if you do that enough time, that becomes embedded into your kind of thought process. Okay, you have to think of the mind as a circuit. Okay, and it works in a particular way. When you're working your mind and going through thoughts and taking action, you're on a subconscious level learning about the reality and what you assume and I assume works. But in reality, it's not the absolute truth. So, coming back to the example, you're at point A and you're at point B. If you don't move, you stand still. Time's going anyway, and you're in a position where you're taking no action. And now you've lost out because instead of even crawling, you've decided to stand still. That is a huge problem. And I'm telling you this first-hand experience that there's been times where I should have launched a project or I've done a project and I overthought about it and I didn't move the way that I wanted to move. And through small experiences, you start to pick that up on a bigger scale. You start to do it in every part of your life, every single day. And that puts you in a situation or a cycle where you are continuously frustrated about your circumstances and situation. But here's what I learned. Here's how you can now overturn that, okay? You've got to learn the psychology. You've got to understand also the physics about the world, okay? Number one, 1% is much better than zero. Okay, so to give you an example, if every single day you had to, work out and exercise, and you overthink how you might, you're not doing the right form, whatever, and you don't take any action, that's zero. The next day you're not, you have an upset stomach, blah blah blah. You decide you're not going to do it, so on and so forth. You keep making excuses. 1%, even if you do one press up every single day, or improve in any endeavor that you do by 1% in a year, that's 365%. That's a 365% growth. The challenge that we have is we have these cognitive constructs that assume that if we don't get 100% in the first day, then it's not worth our while. And that's what tends to happen. We tend to take action in something and not see the exact result that we want. And as a result, we do a complete U-turn and say, oh, that doesn't work, or I didn't get the result that I wanted. I was right about my previous thought that you were overthinking about. Oh, I can't get the results. In some way, you kind of manifested that idea because you weren't vibrating on faith, on love, on focus as to what you want. You were focused on doubt, which is a lower vibrational frequency. The aspect here is you need to always understand this example. 1% is better than zero. If, let's say for example, today I decide to shoot a video, I can't come up with a topic. It is by default much better for me to shoot a video on a topic that I know, rather than not shoot a video, not get it out to you. Because I today will lose out that 1%, because tomorrow I can't get back today. I can't get back yesterday's results. And that's the key, what I was mentioning about time. Time is never, no matter what I do or say, will give me back yesterday. So it's much better. There is more risk taking a risk than taking no risk at all. It's more riskier taking no risk than taking risk. So it's always in your best interest to take a risk. Now, I'm not saying go and do something wild and crazy and, commit a heist. I'm not talking that's part of a risk. The risk has to be a calculated risk. But if there is no detrimental impact into your life, your health, etc., to some degree, don't, do it anyway. And that is a key component, because how many of us watching us now had a fantastic product, a fantastic business idea? You wanted to make a huge transformation in your life. You're ready to go. It's 2025. You're ready to go to the gym. You're ready to exercise. You're ready to do all of these crazy things. But when you come to the idea to do it, you come across a wall, and that is overthinking. Overthinking is kind of like the cousin of fear and doubt. Okay, these emotions, you've got to understand them very, very well in life. You've got because we experience them in so many different ways. It's very good to get accustomed to them. Let them be your best friend. Don't resist them. Understand them. Understand why you fear something. What is it? Is it this person? What they're going to think about you? The reality is they're not going to really think about. They're just focused in their own life anyway. Is it because it's not the result that you want? So what? What is your goal? What is your objective? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to achieve? You have to focus on the end result. The bottom line is fear is by default something that you need to allow to become your friend, because once you understand fear and you realize it is a mental construct that most of the time you put up yourself, it doesn't equate to what's actually happening in reality. Paranoia is a very good example, an extreme form of fear and doubt. You overthink so much to the degree it becomes a disease, a sickness, a mental sickness. So this year in 2025, think about things that you've not done or taken action in. You thought, I wish I took action in that thing. I wish I'd done that. What could have happened if you'd done 1% every single year, every single day? You would have had a 365% growth from position 0 to B. You are one step closer to your decision. They say which one would you prefer to be, the turtle or the hare? I'll give you a third character in this analogy, and that is, would you like to be just standing still in that situation out of these three? Which one's going to win? Obviously the turtle's going to win, the hare's going to win, you're not going to win because you're standing still. It's about initiation. When you start let there be fear. When you start, let there be overthinking, and then kind of work through your thoughts. Here's also a good way, here's a super tip in to figure out the answer to almost any question that you have in your mind, and that's asking yourself why 2 times. I learned this many years ago, and I want to share it with you. In any given circumstance situation, you need to ask yourself why twice. For example, if I don't want to go to the gym today, although to some degree I'm feeling a bit conscious about going there, I have to ask myself, why do I want to go to the gym? Well, I don't like how my figure looks like. That's number one. That's layer number one. Layer number two, okay, why don't I like my current condition or how I look like? Well, it's because I'm conscious of other people. So now, by asking myself twice why, I figured out exactly why, the bottom root, why I'm not going. It's because not only of my weight, because I'm conscious about what people think about how I look. So it's about my self-image, okay? Now, the bottom line is, you see so many people that try to go to the gym and they just can't get to the door because they are conscious. Not because they can't walk to the gym, but they are super conscious about the people there. That is a true reality that a lot of people do face. I've spoken to people like that. The bottom line is, go today, go tomorrow. Regardless of how you feel, just show up. That is your epitome of success. It's just showing up, doing the exercise. Imagine if you go to the gym. I know this is obviously seems like a fitness video, but I'm trying to give you an analogy that you can relate with, which is that 1% might be you showing up, you picking up a weight, doing 10, 15, 20 minutes. Great, put it down, go home, cool. Do what you can do. Second day, come again, do the same thing. Now you've built or expanded to some degree. It'll take a bit of more time, but you will build a bigger comfort zone. You're very uncomfortable. You will then build up a bigger comfort zone. You'll have more confidence in repeating that routine. Humans are species of routine. Once you achieve and put a flag somewhere, you can always go back to that flag. If you don't do it enough times, the flag retracts back to its old position. So you need to always be moving that flag outwards. Get to the gym. Do that same routine again. Second time, third time. And then you start to feel like, you know what? I was overthinking about that circumstance and that situation. And slowly but surely, you start to then pick up, try new machines. And eventually, after 3 weeks, you start to speak to people. You have a friend in the gym, etc., etc. And 6 months down the line, you're a completely transformed person. Now, that transformed person is no longer the same person that walked in 6 months ago. My maths ain't great right now, but half of 365%, let's just say it's 175. I mean, I don't know what it is, but we'll figure it out after. You've made a tremendous amount of results, but on the 6th month, you're then thinking the next day, going to the gym's not even hard anymore. You don't really care. It's just, you're just focusing about now what type of workout and exercise you're gonna have. And that, my friends, is how you should not overcomplicate what you are going through right now in your mind. Just do it. Nike had the best slogan in the world. No matter the circumstance, situation, whether you overthink, whatever, just do it. That 1%, it's called the rule of 1%. Do something, 1% every single day is much better than 0. And by the end of the year, you have 365% dominating by default, mathematically proven. If you do something enough times, 1%, you'll get 365% done correctly by the end of the year. So this year, start your 1% today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit the subscribe button. Let me know what your thoughts are below. And I'll speak to you guys on the next one. Peace.